Why Gabriel Jesus guarantees Arsenal the top four. I'm going to look into a few tactical things. I'm going to look into some numbers. And in a way, Gabriel Jesus, as a forward, as a player, really completes Arsenal's team. I think they were lacking the duality of a goal scorer and a false nine last season. Lacazette received a lot of balls to feet, linked the play really well, but didn't become a goal threat in the box. Gabriel Jesus is going to flip that on its head. In pre-season, Gabriel Jesus has scored or assisted a goal every 34 minutes, 7 goals and a single assist. And I think that's first and foremost one of the big things why he really suits Arsenal. Arsenal's shape, as we know, kind of moves to a front five in possession, either with a kind of back three in build-up or the classic inverted fullback build-up, where you have your two centre-halves, your fullbacks have moved to support the defensive midfielder, and then Arsenal have the front five in the final third. I think one of the big important things for Arsenal in terms of progression is that number 9 coming off the line and receiving to feet. It's something that Lacazette did really well. Look, Lacazette was very good for Arsenal last season under Arteta. It coincided with Arsenal playing better with Lacazette being in the side instead of an Aubameyang who prefers to spin in and run in behind. And I think that's the big thing that we first need to look at in terms of the tactical side of Arsenal. Jesus fits them like an absolute glove as that false 9. The second side, of course, that we mentioned previously, not only do you want your sort of false 9 dropping in, receiving balls into the feet, progressing the play, but that duality of getting into the penalty area is absolutely massive. When Arsenal, either use Martinelli, use Odegaard, use Smith Rowe, or Saka out wide, it's important in the play getting into that penalty area and finishing off moves. There are a few times last season where Arsenal built really well, but there was no one in the box to finish them off. When you're looking at Gabriel Jesus as well, he's underperformed his XG by 18 goals, which obviously isn't a great statistic. Underperforming isn't great compared to overperforming, but I think the big thing with Jesus is it's the consistency of him getting into those areas to get those chances. I quite like that. We've also seen the likes of Lewandowski and Benzema underperform the XG but still score 25 plus goals a season. So I think for Jesus there's going to be a lot of chances. It'll depend on kind of his form in terms of how clinical he's being, but I like his movement in and around the penalty area. I think that'll be a big sort of bonus for Arsenal in that area. Without the ball, going against the ball as well, Gabriel Jesus is an absolute, is a solid worker in terms of defensive actions. Guardiola named him probably the best pressing forward in world football. I think that gives Arsenal something else in a defensive side. Not only do Arsenal need to score more goals to get into the top 4, but they need to be defensively better, and that all starts from the front. At times last season, Arsenal sat off a little bit more, but with Jesus running around, harrying, starting that counter-pressing situation or starting a pressing situation or trap could be vitally, vitally important. Not only that, I think Arsenal can kind of change their attacking shape with Gabriel Jesus as their 9. Previously we've seen a lot of Arsenal's shapes being Granit Xhaka in the inside, kind of left channel, Odegaard inside right, the 2 wingers, and Partey at the base of midfield. But I think what we could see with Eddie Nketiah playing is arguably like a bit of a lopsided 2-man strike force, where instead of Granit Xhaka moving high, he'll sit kind of deep, Odegaard will move into the inside channel, and then either a Zinchenko or a Tierney will provide that width in the final third. I think that is another great option for Arsenal. And it started to work quite well, Jesus and Eddie Nketiah. Their partnership is starting to build in a sense of pre-season. Eddie Nketiah was in really good form as well, scored 6 goals and got 2 assists with a goal every 46 minutes. The quality's starting to be there, and it gives Arsenal a little bit more of a dynamic element. But they can play wide on the left, they can play narrow on the left. They've got that ability. But I do think with Arsenal, it is kind of a real growth season this season. It's getting better and better, and it's getting that improvements there. One of the big things with Arsenal when you look at them from last season is they did struggle against the top 2 teams in the Premier League. When I say top 2, I'm talking Man City and I'm talking Liverpool. If you look at the games between the sides, between Arsenal-Liverpool, Arsenal-Man City in the Premier League, Arsenal lost by an aggregate score of 13-1. And I do think Gabriel Jesus changes this. You look at Gabriel Jesus' record against Liverpool, it's absolutely sublime. Over the last few seasons, he's he's really become a big game player for Guardiola. He was the guy that Guardiola turned to at the back end of last season. Jesus, in all comps, has scored 5 goals and 3 assists, and has only scored more goals against Watford and Everton. Having Jesus is only, he's not even going to just improve that, but the big game play is going to be very, very important. Was arguably man of the match in the recent game at the Etihad between Liverpool and Manchester City. Scored, created a chance, had 4 shots on goal, created 2 of his 3 dribbles, 2 tackles, won 6 of his 9 ground duels, 2 of his 3 aerial duels. He's a big game player, and I think that will really help Arsenal maybe pick up some points against the top 2, which is an area where they need to improve if they want to get closer to the top. You take in the consideration against Liverpool, he's got 5 goal involvements in his last 5 games against Jurgen Klopp's side, averaging a goal involvement every 73 minutes since 2020. The big side of things as well, which I'd like to kind of bring to your attention, is Arsenal really should have beaten Man City in that 2-1 defeat. The red card was a little bit dubious, to kind of say the least, but more importantly, they had big chances. There were chances that maybe someone like a Gabriel Jesus could have taken in the game, and that's something that you look at and you got to go back. Martinelli had a massive chance just at the back end of the game, and he missed it when it was 1-1. And that's something that Jesus, as a poacher, could have finished off. In a really interesting side, when Martinelli went to have the shot, Lacazette was just next to him. You think someone like a Jesus could really change that and evolve, Arsenal's goal scoring when they get those opportunities in the big games. But I do think it will be, a midfield combination of Granit Xhaka and Odegaard in those inside positions. And finally for Arsenal, last season to get into the top 4, they just simply didn't score enough goals. Arsenal scored the 6th most goals in the division at 61 under Arteta. On average, to get 3rd or 4th, you need to score over 67 goals per season if we're looking at data over the last 4 campaigns. Arsenal also notoriously sort of low scorers under Arteta, averaging 1.55 goals in the Premier League. If you want to get to that 67 goals a season, that 1.55 needs to go up to 1.76. Here's some numbers for you wonderful people. But the goals that Arsenal scoring under Arteta kind of came in gluts. They had 4 games where they scored 4+ goals, and they had 5 games that they won 1-0. But just to conclude things, Gabriel Jesus is going to improve the goal scoring, the work rate, the performance in the bigger games for Arsenal. But maybe something that's a bit of an intangible in a sense is Arsenal, when they played in the Premier League last season, had 11 games where they failed to score a goal in. And that's quite big when you think of the overall of the season. Compare that to, Liverpool had 1 game they didn't score. City had 4. Chelsea had 4. Arsenal have got 11 at the moment. So that'll make a big steps going forward for Arsenal to get to the top 4. But I think Gabriel Jesus may guarantee them that. I think that is the kind of the signing, the impact he's going to have on the football team in all facets. Thanks for watching, guys. Get in the comments below. Do you think that Gabriel Jesus means that Arsenal guaranteed top 4? I think they are well on their way. A few good results at the start of the season. Gains momentum. Easy Champions League football next season for Mikel Arteta's men. Check out Sneak Energy. Check out SofaScore. And we will see you next time.